And welcome in here tonight as we are bringing you the Cyclones taking on the Bushel Prairie City Spartans. This is, of course, TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH. Glad you're alongside for volleyball action once again this evening as kind of the friendly rivalry between the two former football co-op mates here tonight. John, the Cyclones took one on the chin the other night versus the Mustangs of Unity. They're going to try to rebound here tonight. Yeah,
I was just getting ready to say the Cyclones are looking to bounce back after both teams lost the last Tuesday night to the Unity Mustangs. And I'm sure Coach Ball has went to the drawing board, talked some things over, and I'm expecting to see the Cyclone team come out revigorated tonight.
And, of course, it is homecoming week as well, and you want to make sure you get a win. I know several of these girls last night participated in the Powder Puff game that went on, and I heard it was a lot of fun, and I heard I even got name dropped during the broadcast last night.
I didn't hear about that, but no, the Powder Puff football game is always fun, along with the Ironman for the boys, and homecoming week in general is just always a good time for the kids, and like you said, hopefully the West Prairie volleyball team can come out with a win this homecoming week.
All right, we're going to step aside for just a moment. Thank our very fine sponsors. This is TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH.
MDH has committed to having a top-notch OB-GYN unit.
The new facility, the Dolores Cater Schweitzer Women's Center, this is a quality facility that the patients need to match the quality of care.
And then we also have a new clinic, which is state-of-the-art.
And here at McDonough, we have a team. And everybody feels like they're a part of the successes that we have.
We have a strong team in our office and in labor and delivery. You will get the best care at McDonough District.
And we do want to thank the folks at MDH for bringing you TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. So glad you're alongside for another night of volleyball action. And don't forget, our pregame sponsor, JoJo's Gaming Parlor, offering the best gaming experience in the McDonough County area. Stop in for a cold drink and a chance to take home a nice wad of cash while you're at it. Also on game nights, check out the TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH Events, live on the big screens. Come join your friends at JoJo's, located at 776 North Cole Street in Bushnell. Cheer our area teams on to victory. The Community News Brief. For all your local news, subscribe to the Community News Brief Weekly Edition, mailed directly to your home every Friday in an option. You can also receive Monday and Wednesday editions by email. All this for only $42 per year or $38 a year if you're 65 or older. Single copies can be purchased at select locations in Bushnell, Colchester, and Blandonsville. Tom Conklin State Farm. Talk to Daphne or Evan today at Tom Conklin State Farm in Macomb for surprisingly great rates. Call them at 309-837-1200 or stop and see them at 1221 West Jackson in Macomb. And the other thing, John, that could pop up here, I know these two could be regional mates. The regional will be here at West Prairie. I'm not really sure whether Bushnell Prairie City would go here or they'll go to Lewiston. Those, I believe, are the two sites for the regional for Class 1A in our area and on our sectional. So it'll be interesting to see who gets pushed where, but I know one of the teams that a lot of people are talking about that's looming out there, the 19-0 Southeastern Lady Suns, who have been just bombing everybody along the way. We'll see them next week.
Yeah, then that team is definitely a tough matchup for anybody out there. A bunch of good hitters on that team, and they just play solid all around. Very well-rounded team, and as you can see, as a result of that, 19-0. Going to be a tough team to see, especially in a regional.
And they don't shy away from anybody either. I mean, they play some they play some really tough competition. They went down to the New Berlin tournament. I know they play Unity. They play Central. They play QND. Tim Kerr and crew don't hide from anybody.
No, absolutely not. And as we said last week, if you're going to be the best, you got to beat the best. And Southeastern has definitely done that, and that's been part of why they're so good.
Yep. And we're going to see them October 6th right here at West Prairie, and I believe that is Pink Night as well. They've got an auction and everything planned for the evening, so plan on joining us for the broadcast that night. It ought to be a very good one. Kind of old home week. I used to do quite a few games for Southeastern back in the old WCAZ days. I think I can say that without getting trademark infringement. You didn't hear that. Hopefully they didn't hear that either. But no, we definitely will see them coming up. And do want to talk about the lineups here this evening for the two teams as they come out on the floor tonight. Cyclones in the home grays with black numerals trimmed in white. Cyclones across the back of those. Drew Snyder coaches the JV, of course, assisted by legendary head coach Terry Paul. She will shoot me for saying that. She usually does when I say things like that. The Spartans dressed in the blue uniforms with the red sleeves and the red numerals trimmed in white. The I would call the libero Gracie Havens in the red, white, and blue, the all-American look.
The USA colors, that's for sure. And I think the West Prairie Crank Zone is actually USA themed tonight, so that goes pretty well with that.
Well, that's kind of good. You're matching up with the Spartans coming in here tonight. And the starting lineup this evening for the Spartans will be Presley Brandt, Kendra Ford, Abby Nelson, Callie Kramer, Audrey Hood, and Daisy Crow. For the Cyclones, it is Callie Wright, Lindsey Dunn, Janie Phelps, also Paige Kitch, Ava Beck, and Taylor Richardson. Jersey Brown will be the libero. And now going off will be Ford. As Bushnell serving first, it'll be Audrey Hood with the serve for the Spartans. And Brown will replace Wright for West Prairie. As they get ready to send it on the way, deep into the back row, high deep, and generally unplayable. That would be point number 1 on the board for the Cyclones, and they take a 1-0 lead, and he will bring up the scoreboard in just a minute because the guy is old and he forgets things. And that one, an ace for Janie Phelps. So that will make it a Cyclone lead of 2-0. Serve again, take it and at a replay call.
Not exactly sure what happened there. The ref's talking that one over.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure myself. And now a 3-0 lead for West Prairie.
Good start here early by the Cyclones as Janie Phelps has served consecutive points back to back. And as we saw last week, getting started early was an issue for the Cyclones. So hopefully tonight, getting some points on the board early will result in some better outcomes.
Havens helped out there by Brent, and then not able to get across, so makes it 4-0 in favor of West Prairie. And we'll get the scoreboard going for you in just a moment. Having a little trouble getting that going here. My apologies, folks. And side out, as Lindsey Dunn, a little trouble with that one. So a side out here to the Spartans. Coming back to serve for the Spartans will be Daisy Crow. 4-1 lead here for West Prairie. Serve is a low line drive out of bounds, and it's 5-1. 5-1 lead here as they continue to pull away in this one. Spartans having a little bit of control issues. Serve, take it in the back row, pulled up there by Crow, bumped backwards. Haven's going to help it across, and now Brown's got it for West Prairie. Up to Phelps, she'll set it outside for more. Tip, roll, down and in. And the Cyclones go up 6-1. They lead here by 6-1 advantage. And that brings Paige Kitch back to serve it. Serves it across. That one going to be up near the net. Tipped over by Moore. And not able to get it was Nelson. And we're going to take a timeout. We will step aside for just a moment. You're listening to TSSR Game Time Live presented by.
Well, we were camping, and then I got a phone call from my neighbor and said that we got hit by a storm. He said, you better come home because there's no roof. He said, I look up and see the sky. He didn't know what you were going to do, where you're going to go, but Country Financial took care of us.
We anticipate something that we hope never happens, but when it happens, we are there to make good on our promise.
And back here at Scioto, 7-1 the lead for the Cyclones so far in this one. As they are headed, Cyclones starting to run away in this one. Serve as a line drive, bumped up in the back row by Crow, helped up front, and then bumped across there by Kramer. Back to Paige Kitch. Phelps going to set it up. Brown will just bump it over. And bumped up to the net, flipped across there. Nice job there by Nelson. Sent back by Brown, played by the Spartans. Nelson going to set it up in the middle and knocking it through, but a little bit wide and out of bounds was Kramer. 8-1 West Prairie. Eight to 1 West Prairie. And serve sent right back across by Hood. Brown going to help it out. Beck going to tip it over. Dug by Havens in the back row. Helped out by Nelson. Kramer bumps it over. Brown takes it for West Prairie. Phelps back set. Beck on the way. Too wide and out of bounds. 8-2 lead for West Prairie here early on in this one. As they have an advantage here so far. Serve sent through by Kramer, set up for Phelps for West Prairie. Out to Moore. Moore will hit it back row. Popped up by Nelson, sent across there. Into the back row. Nice job by the Spartans. Number 10, Sierra Shannon. That's going to bring back Kramer to serve here for the Spartans. Kramer slaps a few dribbles at it. Ready to let it go, sends it through into the back row and out of bounds for a 9-3 Cyclone advantage. 9-3 Cyclones have a lead here. Jersey Brown will serve now for West Prairie. Readies it, sends it on the way, line drive. Bumped up there in the back row by Crow and tapped over and out of bounds by Shannon. It was out beyond the outstick, so it is 10-3 West Prairie. Brown will eye it up again, ready to send it on the way. Winds it up, pounds it over, and it's popped up back row by Kramer. Helped out by Crow, bumped over by Nelson, and Kitchen has it for West Prairie. Set in the middle now for right, tip down and in and good, 11-3. Cyclones taking definite control here, leading here 11-3 in this one. Brown winds to it again, line drive off of the back row, off Crow. Nelson going to bring it outside, hitting it over as Ford off the blocks and down. And a nice job there by the Spartans to get one back here. Kind of important for them to start slowing West Prairie's momentum, John.
Yeah, the Spartans definitely need to look for a big play like you just saw right there to get another point on the board and maybe slow down the West Prairie Cyclones who have started off this game red hot.
Wind and send by Nelson. She'll bring it through. Low line drive off of Kitch. Phelps outside for Moore. A little bit too long and out of bounds. And a couple in a row now for the Spartans as the Cyclones lead it here 11-5. Here in this one, leading 11-5 as they go back to work. Serve, and we have an illegal rotation whistled on West Prairie. Not sure what happened there, but they're whistling. Coach Drew Snyder asking the official, what's up? I think he was about as surprised as everybody else. And I don't think they noticed the scoreboard just went out.
Yeah, it did. So now we have no scoreboards in the building working. Can't get the scoreboard on the computer to go?
Yeah, scoreboards everywhere. It's not a good night for. There we go. Maybe a loose cord. People have often said I have one of those. Abby Nelson will send it on the way, brings it deep into the back row. Brown brings it right up to the net. Tap back through, and down it goes for Hood. That's 3 in a row for the Spartans as they try to claw their way back into this one.
Yeah, Bushnell stringing together a couple points, trying to swing this momentum in their favor.
And AD Jason Finch trying to get our scoreboard back going again. Right now it is the 11-7. Well, folks, at least you can feel people in the gym are as in the dark on the score as you are. Phelps with it over to Moore, sends it in the back row, popped up in the back row by Crow up to the net, tapped down and then rolled out of bounds and out. Spartans were very close. Nice job by Ford to flip that one back over. And so it's going to make it a score of 12-7 West Prairie. Serve. Picked up back row by Kramer. Going to be helped out by Ford off the light. And then they couldn't quite make the adjustment. Drops home for a 13-7 West Prairie lead. Cyclones lead by 6 here. Ava Beck back again, ready to let fly with it. Ready to wind up and send it on the way. Sends it through, low line drive, back row. And right underneath it is Kramer. Nelson going to set it to the middle. Tapped across by Ford, and West Prairie sets it up back outside. It is Moore who tips it over. And now bumped right back over and across by Shannon. Beck going to back set it for Clark. Dug back row by Kramer. Helmed out and sent across. Cyclones with it, up for Beck to hammer through, blocked, and Clark recovers it, lobs it deep. Kramer takes it back row. Nelson sets up the back row attack, tapped over by Crow, and Beck will now play it up to Wright, who could not get it across the net, tried to flip it across, couldn't get it, and it is 13-8. 13-8 lead for West Prairie. As coming in now is Presley Brandt. Brandt takes a few slap dribbles, sends a low line drive off of Kitch. Beck pops it up for Wright, who hits it right back off of Brandt and out of bounds. 14-8 West Prairie. 14-8 West Prairie lead. Moore will come out. Lindsey Dunn will come in for the Cyclones. A little different lineup on the floor for West Prairie. Served by Dunn, just across the net, popped up there by Shannon, or actually popped up there by Hood, tapped across, and Brown's got it. Beck gonna set it out for Kitch to tap through, drops in, nice try by Crow to get it. Couldn't get there, and it's 15-8. 15-8 advantage now for West Prairie. As they'll go back to work with it. Cyclones and the Spartans after it here, and that one sent across and out of bounds by Hood. And still a 16-8 lead now for West Prairie. Serve taken, and the Spartans trouble with it once again. Brandt popped it up. Nobody can help her. 17-8 the lead. (17-8) lead. Serve off of Hood again. Nelson going to set it up. Bumped over by Ford and played by Brown back row. Beck sets it outside for Kitch. Back row too far and out of bounds. A 17-9 lead.
We'll see if Bushnell can get something going here with the serve. Maybe try to get the some points in their favor and get this game a little bit closer. Maybe they can pull it out.
Ford off of Brown. Beck going to pop it back for Wright. She'll tap it across. Nelson takes it. Popped up there and then bumped through by Hood. Played by Brown in the back row. Beck going to set it for Wright in the middle. She'll hit it across. Brandt tried to dig it up and knocked it into the net. 18-9. West Prairie lead. Brown out and Richardson in now. As Kelly Wright ready to send it over. Winds it up, pops it across, and back row Havens takes it. Libero back in the back row up to Nelson. Now for Crow, she'll hammer that one to the back wall on the fly and makes it 19-8. Or 19-9 rather, sorry. Serve by Wright. Pop toward the net and goes right into it, so 20-9 lead now. As they come back here. As they come back to work, that one another ace for the Cyclones. 21-9 they lead it here now. As they hold a big advantage, 21-9 now. Lead for West Prairie, serves across off of Brant. Havens couldn't get to it. And it's 22-9. Cyclones running away in this one. And again, they go up with it. Serves across. Backer off Havens up to Nelson. Set for Hood. Hood gonna lob it over and Wright digs it up back row. Richardson helps it out. Clark gonna spike it into the net, and that'll give these Spartans the side out back at 22-10. 22-10 advantage here. And back again comes Hood. Hood will get ready to let it fly. Takes a couple of dribbles at it. Pounds it over. And Kitch digs it up. Beck high in the air with it to Kitch. And dug up back row by Hood. Sent out forward by Kramer. Tapped across by Nelson. And now this played by the Cyclones up to Clark. Back row too high and out of bounds. It's 22-11. 22-11. Hood going to come back again, trying to get the Spartans on some kind of a roll here. Her serve a little short. Sent up there by Dunn, tipped across by Beck, in and good. In, down, and good, and now Janie Phelps will come back in, replacing Annika Clark. As Phelps with a chance to finish it. Her serve off of Havens. High in the air to Nelson. Sets it outside. Crow taps it over. Over to Dunn. Phelps back sets it. Back on the fly. Dug by Hood. Back row. Nelson to Crow. Back row by Brown. West Prairie loads up to Kitch on the outside. Kitch cross courts with it. Brandt digs. Nelson. Bumped over by Kramer. Brown. To Phelps. She'll tip. Crow will flip it back over. Brown keeps alive, and Phelps tried to bump it over but could not get it, and it makes it 23-12. 23-12 lead. Substitution. Shannon will come in. Brandt will go out for Bushnell Prairie City. Serving now, Daisy Crow. As Crow comes to it, lets the serve go. Deep back row. Brown up with it. Phelps on the fly. Gets to it to Beck. Brings it back row, and a one-hander by Hood didn't work. Might work in PE volleyball, doesn't very often work in here as Lindsay Dunn comes in. And I guess
I don't know if it was a back row attack or what on that
I have
one.
no idea what he called. But anyway, it's a Spartan point, I guess. And they tip it back across. Phelps takes it. Brown going to set it up for Beck. She'll tip it down, put it in, and good. I guess maybe it was a back row attack or something. But anyway, 24-13. Paige Kitch will get a chance to finish. Sends a screaming line drive through. Hood back to the net. Richardson sends it back. And that's a game winner. The Cyclones win game one of the match, 25-13. We're going to step aside for a moment. Thank our very fine sponsors right here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
You know, you see fires on TV all the time. You don't understand what the families are really going through until you've lived it. The day before the fire, life was good. We went to bed, we woke up, and we had nothing. If it was not for Country Financial, we would still have nothing.
Back here on TSSR Game Time Live, do you want to thank folks like McDonough Telephone Cooperative. This West Prairie game stream made possible by McDonough Telephone's fiber internet. McDonough Telephone offers lightning fast and reliable fiber internet, video, and phone systems in the McDonough County area. Call 309-776-3211 to check for availability. United Community Bank services are designed to keep you in the game when you're on the go with online and mobile banking that's nothing but net to friendly services you can count on from the leader of community banking. Choosing UCB is always a slam dunk. Visit a location near you with branches in Bushnell, Colchester, and 2 in Macomb. UCB is member FDIC. Good Hope Gardens, located at 445 East Main Street, Good Hope, just east of the North Elementary School. Open April through October, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. For all your fresh produce needs, be sure to follow their Facebook page for daily updates. And I know they've got the pumpkins right now. So if you want to get one, pick one up for the kids. Grover and Mary Jo DeCounter and family invite you to Good Hope Gardens. Come see where it's grown. And let's check the lineups for game 2 of the match here. Cyclones look like they have adjusted back to normal lineup. Janie Phelps, Jersey Brown, Paige Kitch, Taylor Richardson, Ava Beck, and Lindsey Dunn. And we'll see what Coach Trinity Langford decides to do.
Yeah, definitely looking to switch some up after the lineup she was having in the first game weren't having much success, but I would say a big part of it was West Prairie was able to get out to an early lead, build some confidence, and that snowballed into a win in the first set.
And that's one of the things you and I talk, probably folks at home think incessantly about mistakes, but you know, those are the things that make or break volleyball games is the mistakes. And that's one of the things for the Spartans in this game too. They've really got to try to not let West Prairie get on such big rolls.
Yeah, I definitely got to look for some plays to try to slow the momentum down of West Prairie, or just not even let it get it started to begin with. Maybe getting some blocks and some big hits early, get some points on the board, and that will hopefully prevent West Prairie from building the momentum and taking a commanding game 1 like we saw.
Well, and I need to apologize. I read the manager's name. It's actually Judy Bowman, the head coach of the Spartans. Janie Phelps will serve it first for game number 2. Her serve off of Brandt. Haven's going to help it out. And then that is Kramer bringing it across. It is Beck to Phelps, over to Richardson. She'll tip. Crow takes it. Nelson going to back set it, and nobody home. Tried to back set it, and nobody home behind the setter. So it makes it 1-0 lead for West Prairie. Phelps will eye it up again. Ready to send it on the way. Kind of sidewalling it up to the net. Beck just going to say, nope, you keep it. Puts that down, 2-0 lead. And they'll go after it again. Phelps steps back, ready to let it go. Back in the back row, Brandt is there. And now they'll bump across by Crow and Nelson. Brown takes it for West Prairie over to Beck. And off of Hood, high in the air. Brandt helps it out up to the net. Crow, nothing there. Into the net it goes, 3-0 West Prairie lead. Cyclones have a 3-0 advantage here early in game number 2. Won the first one 25-13. And now Phelps back again, line drive off of Crow to the back wall. 4-0. 4-0 lead as, again, the Cyclones serving a little more on point tonight. Maybe it has been. Phelps the serve off of Brent. High into the air for Nelson. Up for Crow. She'll just bump it across, and Brown takes it for West Prairie. Now to Phelps, over to Kitch. She bangs it through past Brent, and good. Paige Kitch cutting court makes it 5-0 here early on.
And to your point, Greg, not many, if any, service errors here by this West Prairie JV team in the first set and so far here in the second set, and that's definitely a big part of why they are able to take the lead in this set.
Crow brings it across. Phelps will tip it back for West Prairie. Crow there. Now Kramer back to Hood to bump through. and Dunn takes it for West Prairie. Phelps back set, back to load up. Off of Havens, right back over to West Prairie. Dunn to Phelps, set out for Kitch. She'll tip it over and put it down. Nobody home behind the block, and it's a 6-0 West Prairie lead here. And timeout called by Bushnell Prairie City. We'll step aside as well. This is TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH.
I have my certificate in vestibular rehabilitation, which focuses on patients with dizziness and balance disorders. It's been very rewarding because a lot of times it's a very short-lived treatment plan and the patient has remarkable results in a small amount of time.
Back here, do want to thank folks like Country Financial Agent Brett Powell. Your farm is your legacy. As a leading farm insurer, Country Financial is here to help protect it. Call Brett Powell, your local Country rep, at 309-652-3889 for a free quote today. Yetter Farm Equipment Facilities in Colchester and Macomb is an agriculture equipment manufacturer that has been in business since 1930 and is currently hiring. Start a new career with excellent benefits and starting hourly wages of $18 to $24 per hour. For more information, call 309-776-4111 or visit them online at www.yetterco.com/careers. Phelps lets another one go off Brandt. Havens helps it out. Crow bumps it over. Brown takes it back row. Phelps up with it for Kitch off the net, and down it goes. It's reached 7-0 here as the Cyclones again building momentum, and out of the timeout you really want to try to snag momentum back, and the Spartans having trouble doing just that. Serve, low line drive off Brandt. Up to Nelson, outside for Crow. She'll hit it off the blocks. Brown up with it. Phelps just tips it over. Nelson. Now to Crow, flips it through. Phelps digs for West Prairie. Bumped up, and Kitch will take it over, drop it in, and good.
And we've seen that a couple times here early in this game. These West Prairie hitters and setters just finding open holes in this Bushnell defense, and it's resulted in a couple points for them, and it's probably going to be something they're looking for the rest of the game if nothing changes.
Serve off, Crow high in the air, back across to West Prairie, and Richardson trying to spike it back across. Hits it into the net. 8-1 lead for West Prairie, and serving now is Audrey Hood. Hood will bring it back across. Hood, low line drive, done it with one-handed save by Phelps, flipped over by Beck, and now played by the Spartan. Nelson with it to Brandt. To Kitch, to Phelps. Back set for Beck on the fly, down off of Hood. And Crow brings it up, but Nelson, nobody was home when she went to set it. And really for the Spartans, John, it boils down to they've got to talk.
Yeah, that, and as we talked about before the start of this game, limiting and cutting down mistakes, not communicating and being one of those. And as we've seen, it's proved dire for them here as West Prairie's been able to take the 9-1 lead.
Kitch, line drive off of Havens, high in the air. Nelson out for Crow. She'll hammer it, and Beck Brown brings it up. Set for Beck now off the hands of Havens, and back for a 10-1 Cyclone lead. 10-1 Cyclone lead in this game at number one. It is, of course, best 2 out of 3 falls. Falls do not count anywhere. Kitch eyes it, runs it across. Havens takes it in the middle. Crow helps it out, and now Hood finally goes and takes it. Brown up to Phelps for the set. They'll bring it over for Moore. She'll tip, and Kramer is right there. Nelson back set. Crow just had to bump it. Brown up with it. To Phelps again, over to Beck. She'll lob it over and lob it out of bounds. So the side out back over to the Spartans. 10-2 now. Crow serving for the Spartans. Is she ready to let it go? Her serve, high, deep floater, and they're going to say in on the back line and good. 10-3 advantage.
Nice serve there.
That was a nice serve. Boy, it looked like for sure it was going out and then just hung on that back line. Crow to it again, this time off side of her hand and out of bounds. And the official didn't even wait for it to go across the net because it went behind him. And now Jersey Brown with it, 11-3. West Prairie leads. Brown unloads it off Crow, back into the crowd. And it'll be a 12-3 advantage. Just kind of the basics that the Spartans will have in trouble with. 12-3 lead here. Brown comes to it again. Eyes it, winds up, sends it, and Hood is there up toward the net. Nelson hits it backwards. Crow hits it across, and Brown gets it for West Prairie. Set up from Phelps to Beck, and that one too long and out of bounds. I have to say, Jason Finch, a nice play back there. Shows he's still got the wheels. As coming to it is Kramer. Kramer, back row and in on the back line, and now West Prairie letting down a little bit there. Those are the things that they hadn't been doing, and that one drops in on them. And the Spartans getting a little bit of momentum. Kramer up to it, high floater off of Kitch. Phelps going to bring it back, set it for Beck. She'll run it cross court off of Nelson into the stands. And a side out right back to West Prairie. Annika Clark will come in. Janie Phelps will go out for the Cyclones.
Nice hit there from Ava Beck after we've seen her send a couple out of bounds. Finally able to get one to stay in bounds, and it results in a West Prairie point.
Coming with it is Beck. She'll fire it through off of Crow over to Nelson. Back set. And lack of communication, the drops it in. It's 14-5. Ava Beck will come back to it again. Serve, low line drive. Hood hits it sideways, and Ford can't get it. I don't know, she kind of had plenty of room. Coach Bowman had to get out of the way. 15-5 West Prairie. Several slap dribbles by Beck. She'll send a short one this time. Crow pops it high. Nelson over for Shannon. She'll lob it over. Kitch has it. Up to Beck up front. Set in the middle for right. And that one out of bounds. And the Cyclones, that's the thing with this, you've got to stay razor focused, because you can get some sloppy play going. And now Nelson trying to take advantage for the Spartans. The jump serve off the side of her hand over into the crowd, 16-6.
Yeah, and to your point, I was just getting ready to say the West Prairie Cyclones cannot lose focus in this game. As we know, volleyball, a very momentum-based sport, and all it takes is a couple plays, and Bushel can start to build the momentum and be right back in this game, so you absolutely cannot lose focus. Ford
brings it over. Brown takes for West Prairie. Beck now sets it up. Tipped across by Kitch, who once again catches him in the front row.
Seen that play a couple times tonight already.
And Dunn did it again. She serves it, that one through, doesn't quite get across. Hits it into the net, side out back to the Spartans. Side out back to the Spartans as Shannon will come back and serve it. Serve to Kitch. Up front for Ava Beck, who'll tip it. And Nelson takes it. Hood sends it across. Brown's got it for West Prairie. Beck in the middle for right, spikes it into the net. It is 17-8. 17-8. 9-point advantage here. Shannon, Alpha Kitch, close to a lift. Kitch tried to flip it over, couldn't. It's now 17-9. And like I said, a little bit different alignment here for West Prairie. Shannon serves it across off Brown to Beck now. She'll set it up for Wright, who will hit it in the net. And it's 17-10. Shannon again. Line drive into the net, and it'll bring it back over to West Prairie. Taylor Richardson on, Jersey Brown out for West Prairie. As Kelly Wright eyes it up. Wright Off the back row off Brent. Ford can't get it, and it ups it to 19-10. As Wright trying to push the Cyclones across the 20-point mark here. Wright up to it again, high in the back row. Brant pops it high, needs a little help from Ford up to the net. Nobody there, and it's 20-10. 20-10. There's Kelly Wright. Serves it. Picked up by Brant. Spartans will set it up. Nelson high in there to Hood. She'll tip, and Kitch is underneath it. Beck will set it up. Tipped across by Clark, who able to find a place to put it in and good. 21-10. 21-10 lead. As Callie Wright once again serves, taken in the back row by Kramer. Nelson helps it out. Now Crow's going to wind up on it. Sends that one in on the line and good. Big stop by the Spartans as they get one back here. Now Kelly Wright out. Jersey Brown in for West Prairie. Serving is Kendra Ford. Kendra Ford, line drive to Brown, up to Beck. Beck gonna square up for Kitch, who hits it out of bounds and cuts the lead down to 10 at 21-12. Ford up to it again. Brown now to Beck, who flip it across, flip back by Crow. Beck gonna set it for Kitch, who tips it over and puts it down again. Once again catching him, Janie Phelps will come in, replacing Annika Clark. As Phelps will come back to serve. Phelps to the serve. To Brandt, high up to the net, and Nelson not able to get there. 23-12. Phelps back to it again. I think the official thought there was going to be sub. There wasn't. Phelps again, serve across off Brandt. Kramer high in the air with it. Crow across. Brown digs it up. Phelps going to set it up for Kitch. Hit into the net. And it makes it 23-13. Hood goes to it. Serve off of Brown. Up to Beck, who hammers that one out of bounds. And it's 23-14. Kind of contagious here as West Prairie having trouble hitting that finishing kick. Hood off Brown, up to Phelps at the net. Set high for Beck, tipped across. Kramer takes it. Now Nelson back to Crow, flips it over. Brown underneath, and I don't know, that was kind of the one-handed set. Phelps was trying to take it, couldn't. And it's 23-15. Hood comes to it. That one offside of her hand, and it is game end or match point, 24-15. Lindsay Dunn out. Nat Moore will come in, and Paige Kitch will try to finish it. Kitch walks to it. Low line drive off Havens. Nelson is there. She'll set in the middle. Crow off the blocks. Kitch up with it. To Phelps, back sets. It is Beck. Back row off the hand of Hood and Beck. And that's a game winner. 25-13, 25-15. The Cyclones win it here over the Spartans of Bushnell Prairie City, and that's going to mean the varsity contest is on the way next. Thanks to all of you folks for tuning in. I do want to thank folks like JoJo's Gaming Parlor for making our broadcast possible. JoJo's Gaming Parlor offers the best gaming experience in the McDonough County area. Stop in for a cold drink and a chance to take home a nice wad of cash while you're at it. Also on game nights, check out the TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH Events, live on the big screens. Come join your friends at Joke Joe's, located at 776 North Cole Street, Bushnell, and cheer our area teams on to victory. Well, for John, I'm going to stop off here, and we'll be back with game at number 2, the varsity match of our set here tonight. And you've been listening to TSSR Game Time Live presented by